inspire.
Welcome back to Starting Now. I'm your host, Jeff Sarris. This is the show where I talk to entrepreneurs to reveal the unexpected paths to entrepreneurship. Today, my guest is Jennifer Sutto. Jennifer has done it all. She started with a rave-specific product business. She moved into TikTok. She started her YouTube channel around NBA Top Shot and NFTs, and now she's a part of Evaluate Market, which is a market tool for NFTs, along with a crypto and NFT enthusiast and investor. And she does a lot and has done a lot, and she has a wonderful story that I'm excited to share with you. So without further ado, my conversation with Jennifer Sutto. So you do a lot of stuff. You're doing a lot in the crypto space, in NFTs and everything. How do you just sort of quickly briefly encapsulate the things that you're doing right now?
Oh man. Okay. So I work for Evaluate Market and I run their social media and marketing. I post videos on YouTube about NBA Top Shot. I have a podcast that I have a co-host with. We talk about NFTs weekly. What else? I collect NFTs and sometimes flip NFTs. And then I just actually collaborated with an artist, and I'm a part of an NFT for the first time ever, the Collector Chronicles, which is super cool. And I'm trying to think if I do anything else. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah,
that's as much as I can remember.
Is it safe to say then that you're like full-time all in on NFTs?
Oh yeah, I everything I do pretty much all day, it's just like NFT related stuff, and I do take, some breaks sometimes, but yeah, for the most part, it's just like, I just love it. I'm like obsessed with the space right now and just everything going on. It's so exciting. So much is happening, so many new things every single day. It's super fun time.
Yeah, for sure. And I like to dive into origin stories, but before we go sort of too far back, was it Top Shot that got you in? Like what sort of got you into NFTs?
Yeah, I guess it was Top Shot. I mean, I did have CryptoKitties before I started, on NBA Top Shot. So, CryptoKitties were my first NFT, but I wasn't really into the NFT scene. I mean, it wasn't really popping really that much. I mean, even when I started NBA Top Shot back in October 2020, NFTs weren't really popping off too much. It was only this year really that started going crazy. But yeah, I would say NBA Top Shot, just Dapper Lab products, I guess, were like my first NFTs. Really went all in on NBA Top Shot. And, I was lucky enough to be one of the first couple thousand people on the platform, be able to buy in early and just kind of went from there. And then this year, I don't know exactly what month or anything, but I started diving into other NFTs, Ethereum-based NFTs instead of flow-based. And it honestly, the co-founder of Evaluate, Christian, he kind of inspired me to do it because he was kind of just buying kind of like one of every NFT. And I was like, why are you buying like one of every, different project? And I'm like, and he's like, well, it's kind of for research purposes and just to kind of see how it goes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, I've been in crypto since 2017, not really too active. I'm more of just a buy and hold type of person. But, so I had some ETH and I was like, you know what, like, let me play around a bit. Okay, let me get some play money here and, get into this NFT game. And so, yeah, started minting NFTs, hit it big on a project, and then just kind of, went from there. And now I have some.
Which project was the big one?
Oh, sorry. One that you probably wouldn't think. The Slumdoge Billionaires. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So those didn't even do well, but I happened to mint number 1420, and it happened to have as many traits as possible, 9 traits or whatever. And it was like smoking. It was like the ultimate. And I sold it I only minted 2. I think it was like 0.07 or something to mint. And I ended up selling that one for 1 ETH.
Nice.
And so that kind of got the ball rolling for me. And then, but now I'm more about, I don't really mint ever, especially with the gas wars. I'm more about like buying projects that I believe in long term, and now I'm kind of done like flipping for the most part. And I'm just kind of like, I'm here to kind of buy projects that I think have long-term potential and I really want to hold on to long-term. So for me, that's my Medikey, have edition 3. House of Kiba membership, which I bought both of those for 1 ETH not too long ago. My Cool Cat, which I bought for 0.69. I was tempted. I almost sold it. I listed it for 7. Then I'm like, no, I need it. I can't sell it. I need to keep this. And then I have a Curio card that I bought for 0.09. And then that thing exploded. And I'm like, I better hold on to this. This is an OG project. So,
yeah, for sure. And that's the tough part, right? I mean, when you want to have those diamond hands, but really when are you going to maybe flip or whatever you want to do? Because
take profits,
yeah, because we have that we're in that weird time where everything is booming just right away, and then it's like how do you look at that right now? Sort of like when you might take profits.
So there are other, NFTs that I have that, I'm like, okay, like I don't really want to hold on to this long term. I'm cool with flipping, I'm cool with selling if it pumps. But I'm just trying to, like, the ones I just said, it's like those are the ones that I really, and it's hard. It's not easy. It's not like you're just like, yep, holding this one forever. Like you do get that conflict, that internal conflict sometimes where you're like, okay, like, look at how much this is in USD. Like this is, a lot of money. But I'm kind of trying to get to the point where, recently I started forcing myself to sell NBA Top Shot moments and stuff, just so that I kind of, just doing some risk management here, selling some stuff. But I'm definitely a holder, so it's kind of really hard for me to sell. But for the projects that I said, I would like to hold those for as long as I possibly can. I mean, as far as Cool Cats, they are doing monthly airdrops, and I do plan on selling those. So it's like, okay, I'll take profits with that, but yeah, it is really hard. It's hard letting go, get emotionally attached.
Yeah. And so currently what's sort of your main source of income right now?
I work for Evaluate full time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do that. That's like my full-time job, and then, I guess just NFTs are just a fun thing that I do on the side, I guess.
I mean, but really, it's barely on the side. With your podcast already is blowing up, it seems like, and your YouTube channel with Top Shot. I mean, everything's going really well, and it's impressive, all this stuff that you're doing, and where you have sort of your hand in a lot of different baskets, making all these things happen. I really like it.
Yeah. Thank you. I think it just boils down to effort. It's like first of all, there's not really that many people in the space. And there's, a lot of people are so anonymous. Like, you're not anonymous. I can see your face, but there are a lot of people that are anonymous. And so there aren't many people that are actually like willing to put themselves out there and like create content and such. So if you do, you really stand out. So I kind of jumped on that opportunity early with NBA Top Shot. I noticed that there was really barely anyone creating NBA Top Shot content. Even so, showing their face, like there was even less people showing their face. So I kind of saw an opportunity. I was like, you know what? I like creating content. I like, putting myself out there, being in front of the camera. And, why don't I start making videos? And, it's kind of a good opportunity to just, for me, I like, I wanted to make videos to document the journey, just kind of see the progress, because I did believe in NBA Top Shot's mission to introduce the blockchain to 1 billion people. That's Dapper Lab's mission. And I'm like, you know what? I really do believe that NBA Top Shot's going to be the way to get there. And so why not kind of document the journey weekly? So I started making weekly update videos. And then 2, the second reason I did it is because, you can connect with more people if you have attention and people know who you are. All of a sudden, oh, you're the person from YouTube. And it's like, they know who you are. It's easier to connect to, like, higher up people, in a sense, just people that maybe you wouldn't normally be able to connect with because you are now kind of putting yourself out there and being public. So I love that. I love connecting with people. And I feel like that was a big motivator for me as well.
Yeah, for sure. And because it's always who you know and what you know. So there is that network effect of everything that you're doing. So how have you connected with people sort of past, say, so you create the YouTube content, you have the podcast now. How have you approached making these connections outside of the content itself?
That's a good question. Well, honestly, people will reach out to me and just like message me and be like, hey, and or if I really want to reach out to certain people, I would just straight up message them on Twitter. I would just DM them, and I started hosting Twitter spaces, and it's kind of a nice opportunity to reach out to the people you admire and be like, hey, do you want to be a speaker? I'm doing a whole speaker panel talking about this. And it's just a nice, I like Twitter spaces as a nice way to kind of talk to multiple people that you kind of look up to. And just being a host, like I don't have to answer questions. I'll just ask the questions. And I think it's really fun. So just connecting in that way, like either through DMs or, getting them to do a Twitter spaces or, my sister does like ladies night on her Twitch stream, and I'll sometimes recommend people for her, and I'll get to meet them too. And then NFT NYC coming up in November. Are you on to that?
I'd like to. I don't know for sure yet, but I'd like to go for sure.
You should. Even if you don't get a ticket, at least show up to the area. I feel like there's going to be so many events happening, so many things going on. Like it's just going to be such a fun time to meet people. It's going to be hard though, because everybody's so anonymous that it's like, how are you supposed to know who's who? But I'm hoping people will just come up to me because they recognize me, and then I can meet people that way. Because I'm not going to know who to go up to, since it's hard unless they have a picture of their profile like on their shirt or something. Then I'll know.
Yeah, definitely. So to rewind just a little bit, what did you do before, or actually, what did you sort of envision for yourself as maybe even a child or a teen or whatever? Like, how did you see your future?
I've always wanted to do so many different things. Like I was always changing my mind on what I wanted to do. And even now I'm always just kind of like, I'll go all in on something and I'll do that for a bit. And then I'll, I do something that I do things that I find fun until they're no longer fun. And then I just move on and I do something else. So, and, same with my living. I move to a new state every year. I just like to kind of hop around and just kind of experience new things. So what I wanted to be when I was a kid, I don't even know. I wanted to be so many different things, honestly. But yeah, I just kind of flow with whatever I'm kind of getting into at the moment. And right now I'm really into NFTs. And so I'm just kind of all in. But who knows, maybe in a year I'm like, oh, maybe, NFTs aren't my passion anymore. And I go into something else, so.
Yeah, I don't know. So right before NFTs then, what were you doing?
I was a full-time TikTok content creator.
Oh, really?
So,
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of random. But so, yeah, I like content creating. It kind of ties into, I guess, what I do now. But I figured out how to make a living off of it, just reaching out to, I did like beauty videos. So I would reach out to like beauty companies and see if they wanted to like sponsor a video and everything. And I like created a whole media kit and all that. And then my sister was also a TikToker, and I was like her brand manager, helped her get deals and stuff too. So yeah, it was fun. And then one day I just stopped having fun doing it, and I just kind of stopped making videos, and I didn't do anything for a little bit. And that's when NBA Top Shot started taking off. I think this was in January, and I was like, I'm just going to start making YouTube videos. And I don't get paid on YouTube or anything, but I was just like, oh, it'd be fun, to make videos. And then Evaluate Market ended up, reaching out to me a couple months later and seeing if I wanted to work for them full time and, be part of the team. And so now here I am doing this.
Yeah, that's awesome. So actually, when it comes to the sponsors for TikTok, had you reached out to sponsors, like gotten sponsors for anything else you'd done previously, or was that your first foray into that area?
So I have previously had I owned a glitter company with my sister, and we would I feel like we need to rewind a little more, because there's every little piece of the onion. There's more to the story that I really like. I told you there's a lot of,
it's
done
great.
A lot of things.
Definitely.
Well, basically, we would reach out to, so our niche was ravers. And basically we created a product that we created like a glitter gel that would last all night and it wouldn't come off like normal glitter. And so anyway, we would reach out to ravers and we would, send them stuff like for free, or, we would do like paid, deals and stuff with them. So it was like, I was on that side of it. So then it was like, being an influencer or whatever, it was like I was on the other side of it. So then I kind of knew as well. And it was like, I don't know, being on both sides of it. And now for Evaluate Market, like I'm also reaching out to content creators and, seeing if we could do paid sponsored videos. So I'm like back on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So was the stuff for Ravers, was that the first entrepreneurial endeavor, or did you have anything before that?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was when I don't know how old I was. I'm 26 now. I think that was when I was like, I don't know, maybe 20 or something. I don't know. I was just, I was in college, I think, when we started it. I'm not really 100% sure, but yeah, that was the first entrepreneur endeavor. And then after that, it was after that and before TikTok, in between that time, my sister and I ran the social media for this like entrepreneur event that was like doing a whole US tour. And so they would go around to different states and throw these entrepreneur events, and we would like run the social media for it. And then we ended up speaking on stage at it. And then we ended up speaking on other stages. And then we ended up in a book. And then everyone wanted us on their podcast and stuff. And then
what book was it?
And then it's called 100 Habits of It's called like 100 Habits of Successful People or something like that.
Nice.
I forget the exact name, to be honest. But that was cool. And that was really fun. And then the tour ended, and then we just kind of pivoted. And I think that's when we started TikTok.
Yeah. So you have a lot of pivots. I love that. Like that is the entrepreneurial journey. Like you encapsulate it so well. And when you're about to pivot, say, do you have any sort of inkling that you're going to do it, or do you see the new thing, the new opportunity, and then pursue that? Sort of, how do you approach pivots and changes?
That's interesting. Well, usually it starts by becoming disinterested in the thing you're already doing. So it starts by kind of, no longer having fun in what you're doing. And that's never a good feeling. And so then you just kind of feel like you have to, kind of like a chore, and it becomes less of like fun and more of like a job. Like it's like you don't want it to feel like a job, So, and then, of course I'll still trudge on after that, but then usually maybe I'll just see an opportunity, and luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparation. And so usually it's like some type of opportunity that I kind of maybe have some experience in, or I'm prepared for a little bit. And then I'll start to do that. And then I'll do both, maybe at the same time I'll do both. And then maybe I'll just jump ship one day and just decide, I'm going to go all in. You just have to take risks, go all in. And then I'll just do the next thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what's the biggest thing that you struggle with right now? Because you've been now in the NFT space for a little bit, but it moves so quickly. I imagine there's always something that maybe you have like finger on the pulse of that you see that's coming, or.
Well, I guess you could say trying to time the top, I guess. I know you're not supposed to time the top, but I always kind of like to mentally. Yeah, we want to. Exactly. We want to know, and I think that's why we see people panic sell when there's tiny little dips, because they think, oh, this is the end, and so, and that's the thing with the risk management. Like I was saying, taking out my initial investment so that I don't feel, pressure to sell, and I'm totally fine when things dip, and I'll be happy. So yeah, I just kind of I'm not really trying to time it, because it's not like I'm trying to sell all my NFTs at the top or anything, but it's just more like, being mentally prepared and knowing, like, just kind of, it's just like having an understanding that, okay, yeah, this is kind of a local top. This is a bit of a bubble. Obviously NFTs are here to stay for the long run, but yeah, things are getting a little bit out of hand and crazy right now. And we recognize that, that's not really normal, but it kind of has to be like that. Whenever there's like technological breakthroughs and innovations, it's like, it naturally has to kind of expand, and kind of do all these weird things, all these profile pictures just selling out and exploding like crazy. That kind of has to happen. And there has to be even more of that. And what we want is for NFTs to be mainstream. But the thing is, everyone's going to end up minting their own. They're going to be minting their pictures, they can have them forever on the blockchain. And, they're going to be minting. Everyone's going to be starting their own collection. The next thing you know, it'll be really hard for things to sell out. But that'll be good. That's how we know that, the masses are coming in and all that. But I think for now, yeah, there's not too many people, but there's enough people for things to be kind of crazy, because still supply is not as high as it could be. Like, it seems like there's a lot of supply, but there's really not. There should be way more projects coming out, for everybody to kind of have their fair share. But
yeah. And sorry to touch on one thing you mentioned earlier. You said that you were buying some ETH in 2017. Or like whenever, like early ETH days. How did you first discover it at that point? Because that's really early.
Yeah, well, there was actually a really big peak. I kind of bought during the top in 2017. So I bought Bitcoin at I think it was like 17K, some of it, not a whole, just like a fraction. And that was like a top at the time, and then it crashed down. But you know what? I was so fascinated by it. And I was like, cryptocurrency, I didn't understand it. And I didn't really understand blockchain technology either. So I decided to spend my time listening to podcasts, doing research, watching videos, just trying to learn as much as I could. I even took a cryptocurrency course just to really grasp, everything and really try to understand. And so, I feel like I got the fundamentals down. And so when the prices started to drop, I wasn't panicking or anything. I didn't sell my stuff. In fact, I actually bought more. I looked through my history recently, and it was I bought some more Bitcoin at 5K. Nice. And it was it had crashed all the way down, but I still had my conviction, and I knew that, this is the future, and I believed in the decentralized world and, being your own banker and everything. And I loved it. So I was like, I believe in this long term, and I want to hold on to this long term. Tai Lopez, actually, I think I learned about cryptocurrency from him, because he had a whole course and everything. He's talking about it, and people hate on Tai Lopez a lot, but honestly, he got a lot of the masses into cryptocurrency back in 2017. So, and I was one of those people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because that is the thing. You need the sort of the thing said in the right way for you at the right time. And then it just sort of clicks. You're like, okay, this is something I want to run with. I want to figure out and dive into. That's really good. So to move forward a little bit then to Evaluate Market, and you connected with them. You started doing the social media and everything. Just sort of describe the platform a little bit. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah. So Evaluate Market was started by three co-founders, Cody, Alex, and Christian. And they actually started it back in January just for Top Shot. So at first is you could analyze your Top Shot moments. You can see all the sales history, all the transactions. You can see your account value, which there really wasn't anything actually intangible. Market was kind of the thing at the time. But all you could really see was your portfolio value. And it was pretty basic, shout out to Veerman for creating that site, but it was pretty basic. And so, they came along, and Christian, Alex, and Cody, and they're like, you know what, I bet we can make something, a lot better, something really awesome where, you can really see everything, because it was hard to see that kind of stuff on NBA Top Shot at the time. You could only see the sales history for the past, 15 sales. Mm-hmm. So you didn't know what had happened, 2 weeks ago. You couldn't see that kind of stuff. And so, for Evaluate Market, you can see, sales history of all time, and you can see your portfolio value of all time, and, track different things, and, analyze different moments, and see how many transactions there are on a day for certain moments, and, how many people own, a certain moment, what are the top owners and all that. Stalk other people's accounts, their wallets. So, really it was just NBA Top Shot at first. And then a few months ago, we decided to kind of branch out and, do some other flow-based projects. So we added Eternal.gg and Evolution, Ben Morrow's Evolution. And then we decided to branch out even further and do some Ethereum-based products. So, we have Gutter Cat Gang, the Gutter Rats, Goats, Anamitas, Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course, Bored Ape Kennel Club, and just a ton. We have like over 15 NFTs on our platform now that you can analyze. And we're adding more, we're constantly adding more. And we really kind of want to be the place you go to analyze your NFTs and to analyze your portfolio. So it's like, I can log in and I can see, my portfolio value for NBA Top Shot, my goats that I have, my Penelopes that I have. And it's like, I can see all of it in one place. And so, yeah, we kind of are trying to, I guess it's kind of like a combination between OpenSea, Rarity Tools, and Etherscan, I would say.
Yeah, everything all into one. And what's the business model behind there? Is it a subscription? How does that work?
It's free to use our site right now. I mean, everything's free right now to use. I mean, you can connect your wallet, you can connect your Dapper wallet, or you can connect your MetaMask wallet in order to like see your NFTs that we support and value your portfolio from there. But yeah, it's free. You just have to sign up. Yeah. I mean, you just have to register.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are there any plans for specific monetization or maybe sponsors and things?
We have some things further down the pipeline, but we can't really talk about it right now. But no immediate plans for monetizing.
Yeah. So makes sense. Yeah, eventually everything has to be bringing in that revenue, but yeah, it's at that beautiful spot right now where you're bringing in new users and you're really showcasing the awesome software. Like I love it. It's like a stock ticker. It's just like this whole dashboard. It looks really cool. I really like what's been done there.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, shout out to we actually worked with this design company, this branding company, Sequence, and they helped us redesign our site, what it looks like now. We used our site before, it did not look as visually pleasing as it does now. So we really made some big improvements there with the visuals.
Yeah. So you mentioned bringing in more people, and like what we're running into right now is all the gas wars, all the crazy gas prices, and which makes it so hard for new people to come in. You have something like Solana, you have Tezos and things like that. Do you feel anything towards any of those platforms, any of those cryptos that maybe things might shift? Like how do you see the future playing out in the next like several months?
I think that it just makes me more bullish on Flow personally, because, you don't have to pay gas fees and you can use, your credit card and USD, and you can use crypto too. But I really like Flow for that reason. But yeah, something has to change because it's just insane how much money people are losing purely from gas, like, basically just transaction fees. You're just paying the miners. And these miners are making bank right now. Props to all the miners. Shout out to all the miners out there. Geez, they're really making a lot. But I don't know. It's really crazy. I know Immutable X is a layer 2 solution, and there's no gas fees on Immutable X, and they're kind of I think they said they're like the first layer 2 solution where you can like mint NFTs and everything Ethereum based. And so I'm curious to see the different layer 2 solutions that come out, and the different things that come out of it. Matic, Polygon Network is very popular as well for the reason of, no gas wars. House of Kiba membership is on Matic. And so, I think a lot of things are moving to Matic and such. And I hope that, I hope that some of these other, Flow and Matic, I would say I would be bullish on them simply because of how insane everything's with Ethereum. But for now, Ethereum is the place to be. You can't really you can't really avoid the fact that, Ethereum is kind of the place to make money right now.
Yeah, for sure. And for someone who's just starting out, what would you recommend they actually do? Because I mean, there's so much to take in. Like you've been in this for months and consuming, like you said, all day, every day, all of the content and
Yeah.
learning and diving deeper and deeper. So for someone new, what would you recommend?
I mean, for new people, I always like to recommend NBA Top Shot simply because it's a lot less money. I mean, I would recommend S1 Moments on NBA Top Shot to get into that. But if you're looking to get into Ethereum based projects, I would say um, go for established projects that already have kind of built up a good reputation and have kind of proven that they are a good long-term play. You're going to have to kind of pay more for it. Maybe you're not going to be able to, for example, for Cool Cats, it's like it was 0.02 to mint, but it's just like, oh, it was just another one of those, 0.02 projects to mint. And then they ended up proving themselves. I bought in at 0.69, which it was like, that is so much further from the mint price,
Yeah.
right? I had to pay a lot more, but I did really believe in it long term. And, now the price is, I don't know, the floor is like 4 ETH or something. And I would say really try to do your research and just look into different projects and kind of figure out what you want. Personally, I like projects that have like monthly airdrop perks. Like I just love free gifts. So that's why I was like, Cool Cats, free gifts every month. I love it. And then pick a project and just buy one, buy something. You have to put some skin into the game, put some skin in the game, buy something that you want to hold on to long term. And that way you don't freak out when prices fluctuate. Prices are going to fluctuate. This is a volatile market. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. It's going to be crazy. But if you really believe in it long term, then you shouldn't freak out in the immediate short term when ETH skyrockets and all of a sudden NFTs take a dip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah, they really work as like this scale. That when ETH's up, NFTs are down. Not necessarily sales, but just the price, because people still convert everything to USD. It feels like almost.
Yeah, it's interesting. It depends if you're from the crypto world and you just like kind of, I mean, I've never put, USD into OpenSea to go, how you can like buy ETH on, I've never done that. I just have ETH. So I think of, to me, 1 ETH equals 1 ETH, and I think for a lot of the crypto people, 1 ETH equals 1 ETH. But if you are converting it, if you are, buying with USD, then it's like, yeah, you obviously are thinking about the price in USD. And especially if you're selling too, maybe you're cashing out. If I'm cashing out, I'm definitely thinking about the USD price. Obviously, like, my expenses are in USD, so it only makes sense. But yeah, I mean, if I think it's interesting because, we saw, was it today that ETH dropped down? It was, what was it, yesterday or the day before? It was like at 3.9K. And now today it was at like 3.3. I think now it's at like 3.4K. And people kind of thought that it was just going to keep going down. So then they also lowered their NFT prices as well. So it was like ETH went up, people lowered their prices. ETH went down, people lowered their prices. So I think we kind of have a crazy rest of the year ahead.
Yeah,
NFT
sure.
space.
Yeah. Do you think that there is sort of do you see a moment of maybe this bursting for a bit? Like 2017, like you said, it was the top and then it crashed. I mean, relative to now, it's crazy to think of it as a crash, but like, do you think there's going to be like a strong NFT winter? Meaning
I think there will. Yeah, I definitely think there will. Yeah, because things have been rising so fast. Everyone's rich. Everyone's making money. Like everyone's like, feeling greedy and just like, throwing around. Oh, let me just sell. I sold this 50th. Let me just put it back in and buy all these other NFTs. And I think, there will be a winter. I mean, of course it's gonna be winter. I don't know when though, nobody knows when it'll be, but, who will really be here during the winter? That's the question. What is it going to look like during the winter?
Uh-huh.
I'm curious to know. I think a lot of great things will be built during the winter, though. That's a great building time. And the winter is a great time to really learn as well, because, you feel like you don't have to be always on checking things, and NBA Top Shot people, no, they know the pain. There was that huge run up late February, early March. Everyone was up. Pretty much anything you bought, you could flip for a profit the next day. And, then things started dipping, and we've kind of been in this dip for months. And it's like, to hold through it's not easy, but it's like and it's boring too. It's boring. It's like there's no price action happening, you're just holding on to your moments. So, but then that's also a nice time to learn other things. I feel like there'll always be little pockets of things that'll be there'll always be opportunities to make money if you know what you're doing and if you're like really involved in the space. So, maybe the next thing is NFT gaming. Maybe, games start exploding. Maybe Gods Unchained, just starts going crazy. And I don't know. I think there'll always be opportunities. But as far as, the NFT bubble, it'll be like the profile picture bubble will pop. But there'll still be other opportunities to make money. And there'll be other things that'll be, doing well. But it's just the things that have been going crazy right now, probably won't be going crazy for that much longer.
Yeah.
And we'll see what survives. That's why I was saying, the ones that I wanted to hold on to long term, I believe those will survive the winter. That's my belief. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I'm kind of betting on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to have those convictions and find the things that you believe in that you think is going to survive, and also the things that you love, because like you love your cat, you love all these things, because if you're left holding it in the end, you have to be proud and happy to hold it, just in perpetuity.
Right.
I love your grind and hustle and like just the vision. It's just that like as soon as you started saying the sort of the backstory of where you came from, I was like, oh yeah, I connect, I relate to this so much. So
really, what's your now I want to know your backstory.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been full-time entrepreneur for like 11 or 12 years now. Like I had a normal job. Jesus, and then
that's crazy.
Did web design. Like, so we still do sort of everything. I always say I don't have hobbies, I have businesses. So like for a while I was doing like photography, portrait photography, wedding photography and things. Started mostly with like web design, and that became brand development. And we partner with some brands and help them grow sort of from the ground floor. So like our most recognizable one is the Minimalists, and they have like a blog, and we have a documentary on Netflix that we did with them. And so we're just all over the place, and just a little bit of everything. Anything that involves growing a business and helping people make more money, that's sort of what we do. And it's just me and my business partner. That's cool. So just two of us. But
nice.
For a while I was really into health and wellness. So I had a platform called Paleo Porn. It was all about the paleo diet, and built a really good platform to follow in there. So it's just sort of same idea. It's all these different verticals and just the thing that I'm interested in now, run with it.
Right.
NFTs obviously right now. So this has been an entrepreneurial show, but I've just been shifting it over to NFTs because it makes more sense. It's what I want to talk about right now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This is really great. Like, I'm really glad we got to dive into your story, and I didn't realize there was even so much entrepreneurial backstory that you had. Like, it's awesome. For anyone listening, where should we send them to check out everything you're up to and what you're doing next?
Yes, you can check out my Twitter at Jennifer_Sutto, Sutto. Message me on Twitter if you want. Sweet. Or Discord. I guess it's hard to really find someone on Discord.
Yeah, Twitter, that is a pain, right?
Yeah, there's no I guess there. Well, how do you type in someone? I've never searched for someone on Discord. I don't even know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't think you can unless you're in the same server already. I don't know. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, anyway.
Forget that. Forget the server. Forget the Discord part.
Yeah, so Jennifer_Sutto.
Yes.
On Twitter.
Or YouTube, Jennifer Top Shot.
Sweet.
Or my podcast, the NFT Catcher podcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sweet. Well, thanks again for taking the time out of your day. And this was a great chat.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It was nice talking to you. And I love your energy, by the way. You're very it's very inviting. You have very friendly energy.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. But yeah, thanks again. I want to thank Jennifer for joining me on this episode. Be sure to check her out on Twitter. Her handle again is Jennifer_Sutto. That's Sutto. As always, this episode of Starting Now is brought to you by Built. At Built, we help you get started online. Whether you want to start a blog or a business, head over to built.co. That's BYLT.co to get started. Built, your website, built for you, simply. Finally, if you're enjoying the show, be sure to subscribe. Check out the video version on YouTube, which is my favorite version of the show. And if you can give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment, it'd be awesome. I'd love to hear from you, and I like hearing from the people who are out there listening and watching. So anyway, that'll do it for this week. Again, I'm Jeff Sarris. This has been Starting Now, and I'll see you next time.